What is up, you guys? Xebec is the new blue leader coming out in OP17, and he looks really cool. So without any further ado, let's just hop right into the games. Up first, I am up against Blue Buggy, and so although they are going first, and that concerns me a little bit, I do have 2 copies of the 3-cost Dissy in my hand, and I just grabbed a third one off the top of my life. So I feel pretty good that I'll be able to stall this game out for a little bit. And so I actually do end up discarding one of the Stussies just because I had 3 in my hand and I just wanted to see a variety of cards. But in any case, I throw it down now just because it does have that activate main effect to be able to rest itself, and 3 Dawn cards to be able to stop any one of my opponent's characters from being able to attack. And so now my opponent throws down the 8-cost Croc and also throws down Emoji, and then they pass it back to me. So I just attack them with my leader, discarding 1 card to draw 2. That's going to happen every single time because I play 50 Rocks Pirates cards in my deck. And after attacking, I attack with my 2-cost. I really like the 2-cost because it's just pretty convenient to throw down for only 2 Dawn, and then getting it to attack for 4,000 power I think is very convenient. And my opponent threw down their Buggy and also the 6-cost Moji and Kabaji, which is really fantastic, drawing 2 cards on play. And now their Buggy makes it so that my 3 and 4-cost cards won't be able to attack, which is fine since I was planning on using my Stussy to, freeze my opponent's characters anyway. But in any case, I just attack with my leader first, just for 5. Just discarding 1, drawing 2, and then I use my Stussy's effect to freeze their Croc and Mihawk because it has the highest power, and then I attack with my 2-cost character before throwing down my Stussy and freezing their Moji and Kabaji. So now on my opponent's turn, they use their leader's effect, resting 5 Dawn and discarding a card to throw down their Buggy, and then I basically just discard 2 cards to protect it with my 2-cost card. And then they throw a few Dawn onto their leader. They were having trouble attaching it to their leader, so they just rested it. So they were able to get over my Stussy there, and then they pass it over to me. I'm feeling pretty good because I'm on my 10 Dawn turn, and I still have 4 life cards. So I attack for 5 and use my leader's effect because I plan on just throwing down my 10-cost Xebec. And I was pretty surprised to see that they blocked it, and I was pretty happy that they did that. And honestly, I guess I wasn't supposed to be able to attack with my Stussy there. I definitely shouldn't have because the 7-cost Buggy was on the field. But in any case, I throw down the 10-cost Xebec, draw another one, which I was pretty happy about. So I have another 2k in my hand if I need it, or another great play on a future turn. So I throw down the 5-cost Linlin, which can draw me 2 cards, and then the 4-cost Gloriosa, which is able to bottom deck one of their cards, but they don't actually have a card for me to bottom deck, so it's just going to be a blocker for me for now. And now on my opponent's turn, they use their leader's effect again and throw down their 10-cost Buggy. And I'm just realizing now that there haven't been trashing a card for their effect. I should have been catching that. So I don't really feel bad that I attacked with Stussy anymore because it makes it about even. So anyway, they attack with their 12-cost. I'll just take that, and then they use a few more Dawn and attach it to some of their characters and their leader. So I just counter out while I can, and I use my Linlin's effect, even though it doesn't feel super great, just so I can keep an extra life card up. And now I will attack for 9, and they take the 9, and then I just stack onto my leader, and I attack. I'm testing the waters. I have the option to throw down my 4-cost blocker here if he counters out, but because he doesn't, I just stack the other 4 Dawn onto my Xebec and give it unblockable, and then he's not able to block with his blocker anymore. So I kind of stole that win, but I don't really feel bad because Buggy is super annoying. For the second duel, we have Firefist Owl playing Xebec this time against Tinkerer playing Green Shanks. And I really think Green Shanks is going to be a top meta deck, possibly the best deck in the OP17 format once it comes out. It is just a fantastic card because it allows you to just discard a card or rest a Dawn to freeze any of your opponent's characters every single turn. It's just so easy to do and just so useful, You're able to stop one of your opponent's attacks every single turn, so your opponent has to work extra hard to do damage to you. And you're also just green in general, so you have freezes, you have other rests, you have annoying things like this smoker that just came down. So now Xebec has to worry about all of this, let's just see how he turns it around. So he's going into his 6th Dawn turn. He ends up throwing down his Linlin, and he draws 2. I have never seen an opponent choose to discard 2 cards. They always choose to let the Xebec player draw 2. And so now they got the attack through. A little surprised about that, but they have 3 copies of the Strucin on the field, which really isn't doing a lot. Like, sure, rearrange your deck, but it kind of feels like a waste to me if you don't see it right in the beginning of the game. In any case, Shanks player attacks, puts him down to 2 life, so I already feel like they're getting pretty close to being able to end the game. I'm surprised we have 11 minutes still left in the game. They throw down their Newgate, letting them draw a card. Now they throw 2 onto their leader. They discard 1 to draw 2, and then they do use their Newgate to be able to attack over the Smoker. That's a really great use of the Newgate. One thing that you're going to have to do for sure in this deck is make sure you're attacking over your opponent's field, because you don't have counters, so you need to limit the amount of attacks they have in the first place. It's just another reason why this Gloriosa is so good, because it's a blocker, but it also just gets rid of one of your opponent's characters, so you know you don't have to worry about a second attack. But so going back over to the Shanks player's turn, they are able to throw down their new 7-cost Ben Beckman, which rests their 2 biggest cards, and now they're going to try to attack over them. And unfortunately, it looks like there was a bit of a misplay, because this only boosts the leader, so that actually wasn't a valid target. This Linlin wouldn't have been boosted by 3,000 actually, so they would have had to discard some cards from their hand, but they had plenty, so you still would have been able to protect the Linlin. And then now you use the Linlin here to protect your life, and now they attack again, and so now you're just discarding, totally fine. Very easy, very nice draws with Xebec. The fact that they had extra copies of their 10 cost in their hand and all those 0-cost events in their hand too. Now they play down their 10 cost Xebec and get rid of all of their 1-cost cards to play down another Linlin and a Gloriosa, and so they're able to basically draw 2 cards and get rid of one of their opponent's characters. And so now they're just lobbing a bunch of attacks into Shanks' life, which is going to be pretty efficient because they don't have a ton of cards in hand, and you have some pretty big characters, and you still have a ton of cards in hand. Despite the fact that a lot of them are bricks, you do have those 0-cost events. You do have a blocker, so he's feeling pretty good. I guess the 10-cost Shanks just rested the blocker. And the one bad part about Gloriosa is that it has 1,000 power, so just those 2,000 power searchers are able to attack right over them. Again, the Edward Newgate looks like he tried to use it to protect himself. That's not how Newgate works. It only boosts your leader. So Firefist Owl and Tinkerer should honestly read a little bit better. No big deal though. So leader, just using Linlin's effect makes sense. And now countering out again with the other Linlin. See, this one does let you boost your characters, but in any case, they use Shanks to freeze the 10-cost Xebec. So now you have only 3 attacks next turn, plus your leader, but still looking pretty good. They're just going to put it all onto their characters, get 1 life out. They're going to throw them onto Linlin, and that's another life, stacking the rest onto Newgate, and when they attack, they win. So kind of a scuffed match, but it still worked out for the Xebec player. They still had a very commanding position. I don't think those small miss players mattered very much. So if you were curious, this is my current version of the deck, and if you ever want to play against me and be featured in a video, just make sure to join us on DuelVoyager.com. It is the best sim to play on. It's completely free and has the most features, so I'll see you guys there.